To be honest, it was quite easy to foresee that Rachel Zegler's once promising Hollywood career might encounter significant challenges, and recent developments seem to confirm those predictions. Her latest movie, Y2K, has been nothing short of a catastrophic failure, and to call it a disaster would almost feel like downplaying the severity of the situation. The film, which debuted in 9th place at the box office, struggled to gain traction with audiences and critics alike. By Christmas Eve, barely 2 weeks after its lackluster opening, the movie had already been pulled from theaters entirely, a move that speaks volumes about its inability to connect with viewers. Instead, it was quickly shuffled off to streaming platforms, a clear indication that the studio had all but given up on salvaging its theatrical run. For Rachel, this downward spiral in her career trajectory is not just troubling, but deeply alarming. The challenges she is currently facing appear to be the tip of the iceberg, with signs pointing to even graver setbacks on the horizon. While her talent and charm once seemed poised to make her a Hollywood mainstay, the harsh realities of the industry and the weight of recent failures suggest that her path forward will be fraught with even greater obstacles.
Streamed online.
Y2K has scored one of the lowest Rotten Tomatoes scores in young A24 Studios' life, and that officially means it's game over.
Rachel herself admitted that she initially thought Y2K was only about music, fashion, and a specific cinematic era until she began working on the movie. Indeed, she reduced one of the most celebrated moments of generational fear in history to a mere mental state. Listening to her explain it almost makes you feel sorry for her. However, since she carries a sense of entitlement, she even insists on being paid for every hour she spends working online. Meanwhile, Y2K has earned one of the lowest Rotten Tomatoes ratings ever for A24 Studios. That's no small feat, considering the studio's track record of producing highly acclaimed films. Because of this debacle, Rachel Zegler is now under intense scrutiny, and it seems like Hollywood has had enough. Let's take a look at why Rachel's name has become synonymous with controversy. Rachel rose to fame in Hollywood with her breakout role as Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. She went from being a high school nobody to the poster girl for cultural appropriation almost overnight. Hollywood believed she was the perfect choice to play a Puerto Rican character because she is half Colombian and half Polish. Following that, she portrayed Snow White in Disney's live-action adaptation of the classic German fairy tale and an ancient Greek deity in Shazam, Fury of the Gods. This was only the beginning. Rachel seemed invincible. Yet, no one in Hollywood questioned the cultural gymnastics involved in these casting decisions.
We also have a star who I don't think fits the bill and also continuously talks on the internet, thus further poisoning the well of this already doomed film.
She has publicly acknowledged feeling uncomfortable in certain spaces as a white Latina. However, rather than stepping back or reflecting on the implications, she continued accepting such roles. As if she were Hollywood's version of reparations in a ball gown, the industry supported her. Every major publication, including Variety and People, hailed her as the next big thing. Was there criticism? The modern equivalent of public humiliation swiftly followed. But now, the narrative is shifting. After 3 consecutive box office flops, the most recent being Y2K, it appears even Hollywood has grown weary. Yes, Variety, the same magazine that once championed her, has now published a piece highlighting her decline. Written by Hollywood's unofficial hitwoman, Tatiana Siegel, it essentially serves as Zegler's professional obituary. The piece states that Disney's new approach avoids courting controversies like those Zegler stirred. In Hollywood, that's not just a warning, it's a death sentence in print. And don't think this is mere theatrics. Siegel has a reputation for portraying Hollywood's harshest truths with measured kindness. She supported Disney's decision to fire Gina Carano, framing it as a commendable stance. If Variety is condemning Rachel Zegler, it's a reflection of the industry's sentiments. The Snow White controversy underscores Zegler's diminishing appeal. Disney's live-action remake faced backlash from the start, and it's now clear the company is working hard to contain the damage. The shocking ratio of over 1.4 million downvotes to just 100,000 upvotes on the trailer suggests a significant disconnect with the public. Disney's board must be fuming, wondering how things went so wrong. Yet Zegler managed to turn an already challenging project into a public relations disaster. Her abrasive demeanor and blunt comments have alienated fans, making goodwill nearly impossible to salvage. Unfortunately, Snow White, a character meant to embody charm and purity, seems miscast with Zegler in the role. Instead of rallying behind her, many viewers are ignoring the trailers, or worse, watching them solely to mock them in the comments.
Atrocious. I've got 3 official videos by Disney to take a look at, and just generally take a look at the comments, the like to dislike ratio, and it's a disaster. I mean, if I was Bob Iger, I'd be pissing me.
The budget has ballooned to $350 million due to costly reshoots, and it's not just Snow White that's floundering. Zegler's performance in Y2K further highlights poor decision-making. The filmmakers failed to grasp the true Y2K phenomenon, which could have been comedic gold if handled correctly. Instead, we got sporadic chaos and absurd devices that felt more like an endurance test than a movie. And who thought casting Zegler as the most beautiful high school girl and a computer geek was a good idea? It's a clear case of miscasting forcing A24 studios to reevaluate their choices.
Rachel Zegler to star, get this, as the hottest girl in high school who also happens to be a genius computer nerd. Seriously, people over at A24 Studios.
The film Y2K does manage to capture a few noteworthy moments, particularly in its opening scenes, where it sets the stage with an air of anticipation and nostalgia. These early scenes are sprinkled with nostalgic references and occasional humor that will undoubtedly resonate with audiences who grew up in the late 1990s. The sights, sounds, and cultural callbacks evoke a sense of familiarity and fondness for an era defined by its quirky technology, pop culture trends, and the collective anxiety surrounding the turn of the millennium. However, these fleeting highlights only serve to underscore the film's broader shortcomings. The narrative struggles to maintain momentum beyond its promising start, failing to capitalize on the unique premise and emotional potential of the Y2K phenomenon. What could have been a clever and heartfelt tribute to a pivotal historical moment ends up devolving into yet another formulaic and forgettable entry in the vast annals of cinema. Despite its initial promise, the film ultimately lacks the depth, creativity, and cohesion needed to leave a lasting impression on its audience.
The only thing left for the actress to do is to wait for the fallout from Snow White when it debuts, pack her bags, and start training for a new job when she meets real people in the world.
What can I get you?
I'd like a large coffee.
Okay, so hot coffee.
At present, Zegler's career appears to be in free fall. She has become Hollywood's latest cautionary tale. In fact, the industry might need a new term for such a streak. If 3 consecutive successes are called a hat trick, perhaps 3 colossal failures should be dubbed a Zegler. It's almost poetic. She is the common thread tying these failures together. So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.